We are here with the go-to guy as far as when it comes to bariatric surgery, Dr. Adam Smith. Welcome to In the Studio, the Best Docs Network in the Studio. And Dr. Smith, right off the top, tell us what makes your practice so different from others?
I think the one thing that sets us apart, or at least we feel makes us unique, is the fact that I've been through the same experience that our patients are going through. I've made those decisions, I've had the same struggles, I've had the surgery, gotten through the surgery, and been fairly successful after the surgery, and that's how we created our practice, to ensure that our patients get that experience from start to finish.
And with you doing that, you know how important it is to have the so-called personal touch with the patient.
Yeah, I think that the surgery is just kind of a turning point in a process that's really a lifelong lifestyle change. And the surgery is important, and it's an important tool that we use, but that's really just the beginning of a journey. And so we keep in touch lifelong, long-term with the patients to keep them successful long-term.
That's great. Now, Dr. Smith, tell us, who is the perfect candidate for this type of surgery?
Well, I haven't met the perfect candidate yet, but we certainly like to see someone that has struggled, that has been overweight a significant amount of time, but have had some success. They've had some success on a short-term basis with diet or modifications of their behavior, but their genetics are such that they just can't keep the weight off. Those are the people where surgery can really help. It's not just a quick fix. It's someone that has really tried, struggled, and still needs just a little extra help to succeed.
Okay, you say that, and you're talking about a lot of overweight people that just cannot get those extra pounds off. Tell us now, what type of surgery is best?
Well, there is no perfect surgery. There is no perfect surgeon, although a lot of us may think we are from time to time. But the surgery is just a tool that our patients use to help them have a level playing field. If they've been overweight over 5 years, the deck is stacked against them. And whether they are the best dieter in the planet or the best exerciser on the planet, without a level playing field, which surgery gives them, none of them have the ability to have long-term success. So, are there clear cases where the lap band is a no-brainer, this is the only way to go? In my opinion, yes. Statistically, maybe not so much. Statistically, we're going to say that whatever surgery the patient chooses is probably the best surgery for them. There are clear cases where the more invasive surgeries may be a better option. So that's why it's important to sit down one-on-one with a patient, see what their needs are, what their goals are, what their risk tolerance is, and where they are in life to make a good partnership decision with a patient so they choose what's right for them.
Something that is very special that you as a doctor is also at your practice is the Aftercare program. Can you explain that?
Well, what I learned by being a patient was that I thought the surgery was going to fix everything for me, and that's what a lot of our patients think. And what I learned early on was that was really the easy part. Learning to live with having weight loss surgery was the hard part, and that's why we've developed a comprehensive aftercare program, an aftercare program right in our office that encompasses dietitians that are there 5 days a week, a counselor that's there 5 days a week. There's always a physician in the office 5 days a week, and actually we're there on Saturday mornings, every other Saturday. So we make it as easy as possible for them to get in to get whatever support they need at the time. We also have a very extensive support group that meets in our office every Tuesday that the patients take the responsibility for, but there's always a clinical person in there to make sure that they're getting good information, they're getting good long-term support. Because what we learned early on is the success is really related to what they do after the surgery.
Right, that's an excellent point, because a lot of doctors, I know they just do the surgery and then poof, that's it with the patient. But it's so unique with you in your practice that when people have this type of surgery, you actually basically hold their hand, teach them how to eat right. The Aftercare program, that is very, very important.
And that's a product of how we're trained. Surgically, classic surgical training, we're trained like firemen. We run in, we fight the fire and move on to the next fire. Weight loss surgery is nothing like that. The surgery's just the beginning, and that's also the fun part for me, is I get to share in that journey every week and walk with those patients through that journey over and over again and be there as they succeed.
All right, Dr. Smith, for people out there watching and not knowing if they're the perfect candidate to have lap band surgery, how can you help them?
Well, if you think that you might be a little bit overweight, we have what's called a body mass index calculator on the website, fortworthlapband.com, that you can go in and you plug in your height and you plug in your weight, and it will tell you if you're considered at least appropriate to consider weight loss surgery. That's not the only thing that determines if you're appropriate. We need to determine your health, your activity, your everything about your physique to determine if you're really a good candidate. But the initial way to sort this out is go on the website, calculate your body mass index. If it's over 30, then you may be appropriate for a lap band operation. If it's over 35, you may be appropriate for a gastric sleeve or another type of operation. So that's the first step. Determine if your body mass index is appropriate, and then if you want to get more information, you can get it off the website, or we offer informational seminars in the office periodically. Go to the website, find out when one is. That way you can kind of go without committing and find out if this is really something you're comfortable with.
That is perfect. Just go to the website and you can see if you're a perfect candidate or not. Okay, now to the cost. I understand insurance can help?
In some cases, especially if your health is being affected by your weight, like diabetes or hypertension or sleep apnea or plantar fasciitis or a variety of illnesses, then it's in their best interest to help you lose weight because those illnesses are going to get better. So here again, you can consult with some of our staff to determine if you have a benefit or not. If you have the benefit, then we work with you to document what you need to document to get that covered by your insurance carrier. If you don't have the luxury of insurance, which I didn't have when I had my surgery, we also work with different facilities to make sure that you can still, within a reasonable cost, get the operation that you desire or that's going to help you with your health. And we work really hard to do that, and that's frequently the case. Several people have to make that investment in their health. But if you look at it this way, for what a weight loss operation costs, you can't even really get a really good used car. And after a few years, that car is not going to be very valuable. But if you lose the weight and get healthy, then you're adding years to your life.
That's a good point. There he is, the go-to surgeon when it comes to losing weight. Dr. Adam Smith, appreciate having you in the studio.